I actually have a watercolor paper over here and some brushes, a paper towel, water. I have a palette of mine that I already used. I reuse most of my watercolor palettes. I hardly wash them. And then I have some colors that are all liquid watercolors. These are Blick watercolors. They are really very rich pigment colors. You could certainly go ahead and use some food colors if you have, or you could use some watercolors in tubes as well. These are definitely thicker, and then we need to add a lot of water in these. So I have in mind some flowers that we could do. In order to do that, I will show you a really very quick way to create a beautiful wash. Now, wash is nothing but a background for whatever we would want to paint. So for example, in this picture, the yellows and the pinks that you see, that is considered as a wash. In order to do that, I will select my colors. I'm thinking of doing some poppies, so I want this will eventually be this way. Right now, just keep it like that. I'll do some purples and pinks over here, and as we go this side, I'm gonna do some blues. So I'm just gonna go, my first thing would be, let's just prepare some colors. I have a pink, maybe a magenta color. Already has some yellow in it, that's fine. I'm just gonna do that. Take a couple of drops over there. Later on add more water to it. Also have blue here, so I'm gonna just do some, maybe this already has green in it, that's fine. Just taking a little blue there. And a little bit of yellow green, lighter green color. So there is a green well here. I'm gonna use that. So my first step is to do a dip in the water. If you have a foam brush, you could use that. You could use a regular thick, really nice big flat brush as well. Now this is a foam brush, so it absorbs a little bit of water, and it's really good to do a wash. So I'm just gonna go and paint this whole paper Before I do that, I've missed one step here. Because of the water, this paper can warp a little bit, so I just want to make sure it is stable and doesn't move. Just putting some tape at the corners. Okay, that should hold the paper in place. Now I'll go ahead and do the really kind of go and cover this whole paper with water. Not too much water, we just want kind of enough for it to get wet. This paper has already started buckling a little bit. Okay, while that is there, I'm going to switch to my other round brush. And I actually wanted the pinks going on, so really nice pink over there. On the top, I'm going to go and do my pinks. While that is still wet, I'm going to go and add some of my pinks. Add some of my magenta there. So the painting that I have in mind is, we'll choose some kind of poppies or some abstract flowers. Keep a little bit of light color over here. Some greens. It's a really very quick and dirty way to give a wash. And I'm going to show you quickly what we're going to do next. I need a little bit of blue. I think that blue is too dark, so I'm just going to lighten it up. Oh, that became a little green. Keep some blue here. Once this is covered, now the trick to get a really good wash is to actually take this, whatever you have, and let the gravity do its work. Kind of tilt the paper. Let it spread out. So I have this on a clipboard, so it's easier to lift it up and then just let it take its own, let the water flow and take its own shape. As it's dripping, it's getting on my boat, so I'm just going to go take a paper and wipe it off. This way you can just keep the board moving and see where you want the colors to go. You kind of let it spread out. And this is exactly what I did in this other one as well. I just put a whole bunch of colors over there and tilted it and let it dry. Before you paint anything on it, you have to let it dry. How they panned out, I think so this composition might be good with this. So pretty much the sky is coming like that, and this is the poppy field here. So I will go with this kind of composition here. So for my flowers, nothing fancy. We are doing some abstract flowers. I'm gonna choose some colors for it. I have already pink in the sky, so I'm gonna avoid that. I may go for a little bit darker color here. So going for a red. If you're right-handed, it's best to keep all your paints on the right and also the water on the right so that it doesn't drip on your painting while you're painting. So I'm going to take a little bit of coral here. Maybe mix it with a little bit of yellow. So the poppies are kind of right now I'm just doing some random shapes, okay. That is going to be my first flower. And I'm going to keep switching between these flowers here. Maybe add a little bit bigger flower here, random. I'm going to do some yellows, some corals, and maybe add some other colors. I'm not sure right now. These are some random colors, random shapes, nothing in particular. They are like how in biology, I don't know, we learned in school. Remember on the one-celled animal amoeba? They don't have any particular shape. They just keep changing their shapes. This is just like that. So some of the flowers, if you see, they are a little bit, you can go back and add some more interest to it. They anyway have a little bit of varying colors, but once you paint light, you could go and add a little bit darkness over there to make it more interesting. So I added some dark and then some are lighter. I'm going to add a few in the back that are really very light. They kind of give the sense of depth that they are there, but we don't see them so well. I'm using my light purple for that. So those I think should be good enough. The number for flowers kind of looks like a wild field with flowers right now. Some tiny ones, yeah. So that kind of looks like a ground that is sloping, and then there are all these flowers on it. Next thing, if you are doing this and it bleeds into some other flowers, which is fine. Next, we're going to take our greens and a few blues, maybe browns, to do our grass over there. Right now, this color, I really do not know what this color is. I'm going to find out. Okay, so always have an audition paper on hand. That means a rough paper where you can test the color. That is a blue, which I really did not want. That is not so good either. So I'm going to take more color out. some of my greens. Now these are liquid colors. They are just like food colors. They're very, very rich and pure pigments. That is a good color. That is another. You see the difference, a little bit of variation there. And we can certainly add yellow to some of the greens to get a little even lighter. Okay, that might be a brown color that we are looking for. Once we have that, now we're gonna start. Oh, I spilled a few here and there. Drops. We're gonna take a fine brush. You could even take a smaller brush if you want. This brush has a really nice tip, so I will go with that in a small one to do all my grass. Start with one color. Strokes, small stroke, short strokes. So most of my grass is going to be here. At the bottom, maybe up to here, and some of those we will just do it without our grass. Now this grass is like wild, so it can go in any kind of direction, and we just want to give it a look that, okay, there's some wild grass there. Now, as I'm going up, I'm not actually going to see too much of a grass because it looks like it's going to be a little far away from us. So just kind of a little patches of green over there to make it look, okay, there is some grass there. It's going to get a little lighter and lighter. A lot of water here, very little color. I want to add a little bit of interest in the grass over there, so I'm going to try some yellow and see how that goes. This is mostly this a really good style for actually kids to try. And since grass is a natural element, they can go here and there. Everything looks good and fine. There's nothing perfect over here. Over here, the bottom side, I'm gonna go and add, because really this is looking like every single blade you can see right now, but you want to take that effect out. So I'm gonna go and just kind of add a little bit of color there. Even if you do just whatever color you have on the brush, dip it in water and go a little bit. That should give it more like a ground-like look. I'll just kind of mix it up a little so we don't see the blades so sharp. All I'm doing is I'm just dipping my brush in water, just drain the water a little bit and add some water here. Now we have couple of other steps left. Remember the brown that we made earlier? I'm going to take my fine brush, take brown, and that is that color, I think. Okay. I'm going to go and maybe add some stems to these flowers. I'm looking for a really very dark color, almost close to black, to add a little bit in the center. So let's see what this color is. That might do. Looking for a little black. Grab that quick. I may already have this, so let's see what this color is. Okay, so this is kind of black over here. I'm gonna go and add this to some flowers over there. Show a little bit of the center of flower. This is a fine brush that I'm using. So those are, hi Rupa, how are you? So those are some poppy flowers. I think so it might be going like that. There you go. I think probably I just painted it all in the wrong direction. So those are some poppy flowers, abstract, with a really very quick and dirty wash in the background. So go ahead and try it, and I will see you next time.